Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Mystic Moon's personal paid tarot readings. Tonight we're going to talk about there's no room for the fake. There's no place for the fake. There's no place for the fake. Especially in this time that we're getting so many mixed messages. You hear this, you hear that. Every time you turn on the radio, you turn on the television, there's something wacko going on. And then when you have CGI and you have AI, you don't know what's real or what isn't real. And you just kind of wonder, absolutely now, when you meet somebody and you have feelings for, there's absolutely no room for the fake. And as soon as you, smell out something that's fake, well, you know what to do with it. You don't need to have questions. This is unanswered sentences, states of mind than having to deal with the fake. There's no place for the fake. Let's just get rid of the fake. I mean, whatever it is, fake resumes, fake hair, fake tits, fake anything. I mean, fake ideas. I mean, let's just be who we are, right? Maybe it may not be as attractive, you would think, but I think right now we're in for some realism. Real. We want real people with real lives doing real things. At least trying to be real, okay? So when you're in a relationship and you find out that, well, gee, my boyfriend or my girlfriend absolutely did not do this or that. How do you feel about that? Or you feel he or she says, I love you. Do they really mean it? Or are they just trying to, friends with benefits or just get through the night or get through the weekend? What is the deal here? So, I mean, you gotta snarf out somebody. Like, where are they at? Are they riding you for a chump or giving you the wrong message? Or maybe you're not looking close enough. And, in this age of duplicity and mixed meetings, mixed and mixed meetings. Oh, you heard me wrong. No, I didn't hear you wrong. You are fake. And how do you come to terms with somebody you thought you loved, and they turn out to be fake? I mean, isn't that a crush? How are you? I mean, what is real anymore? And then you hear this. I mean, all these stories. If you look around the internet enough, you find a bit of piece of information about this, and that you thought was totally different, or you were told through the radio at the time, through your class at the time, was totally different. How do you deal with it? And then there's people that just don't want to get with it. They want to stay in their little box and just forget about X, Y, and Z because it's safe. There's no safe zone. There's just stupid, right? I mean, if you're faking somebody out, then you don't really think that too highly of that person. I mean, you think, gee, everything I say, this person believes. If you're that type of person, if you're gaming somebody, that means, I mean, you just got to be honest because it's a lot more mileage, it's a lot more rewarding when you're not fake. In other words, there's no place for the fake. I mean, right now we have this whole big drone thing going on. And it's airplanes, it's helicopters, it's IGU, whatever. I mean, it's everything but what is happening? What is this? I mean, you can't have 1,000 secrets running around in the night sky. That doesn't make any sense. So you're being gamed. So in other words, you're being told you're too childish, you're too stupid, and you can't trust. And what you see, you didn't. What you saw, you didn't see. I mean, what you heard, you didn't hear. I mean, I think it's more, and that's the same thing. If you have your authority figures talking to you in that manner, how then it just like, it just like comes down to everybody, your everyday relationships, your relationship with the job, your relationship with each other, with your friends. I mean, people are gaming each other, and it's not cool. It's empty and fake. There's no place for it anymore. Life is too serious. We're like on the precipice of like some real crazy shit, and we just gotta like put a foot down. If you're crazy and you're fake, then like toodles. I'm going. I'm going. I'm out. I'm out of here. I can't. I don't have the room. I don't have the space to put up with what you're doing. So I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, you got to draw the line. You can't say maybe I can change him, maybe I can change her. No. If somebody's gaming, and maybe you're like feeling it in your gut, in your stomach muscles, in your stomach innards, but your mind is telling you, well, gee, the way he looks at me, the way she looks at me, it makes me feel so good. I really want this person to be the one. But inside, you get a feeling like almost like a stomach cramp. You feel like this person is not, something doesn't feel right. It's like, something about the way the person walks, something about the way the person, in the corners of their mouth. You're being game, and you can't, and you really, 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 really want this relationship to work. But, I mean, either the person is not mature enough to be a real person, or they're scared. And, if somebody's scared, no matter what the age is, they're scared of commitment, then you're dealing with a child, no matter how old, what age, 18, 38, 42, 28. It doesn't matter, 72. If the person can't commit and is a child, the person's a child. Or if the person's smoking pot all the time, it's legal, it's legal. And then, the effect of like smoking, being around somebody stoned. What did you say? What did you say? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Hey, listen to me. I'm talking now. I'm totally all me. And then can't remember 5 minutes from the past 5 minutes. Or the day before, the day before. I mean, and where is that at? I mean, where is that at? Don't pay attention. Be stoned all the time. How growing a relationship is that? It's kind of like lame. It's lame. It's fake. It's fake. And then, if you just embrace reality, reality is like the bugs are crawling this way and the sky is doing this and that. And I see that because I have two eyes and I have eyesight. I can see what's in the sky. And no matter of like of like Krispy Kreme dressings is going to change what I know I saw. I mean, you just got to be point blank about that. Anybody can, and even saying, oh, a lot of, like, for instance, the drones, they're saying a lot of people saw, like, you didn't see a drone, it was a helicopter or an airplane. Now, is a difference in altitude? Now, if a plane was flying 1,000 feet over my house, please. I mean, I would ask, is that a stone pilot? Or, I hope this is like a an illusion, an illusion. But I know that it isn't. And that's what they're trying to do, is everything you see is not true. Which, how, if you're living in that kind of reality, in that kind of world, that you believe somebody because they have like a certain position, they're making a certain amount of money, they're doing better than you, in other words, or they talk easier than you, then the situation is lame. I mean, and you are being lame, and you're being gullible and naive. And that's the whole thing. How do you get a set of cojones? How do you just go and say, I made a mistake, I got to walk away from this? I'm getting out before like before I waste any more time. I invested this time and I was stupid. And now I'm going to be not so naive, and I'm going to think when somebody says something or I ask them to do something for me and they don't jump on the bandwagon, or they're just hemming and hawing, I know that I'm in a fake relationship, right? I'm in a fake relationship. So that's the whole thing. How do you, there's no place. Do you agree? Or do you say, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'm going to, you like fake, or like maybe somebody hasn't used those words. They said, oh, you two look so good together. Well, nine 9 out of 10 chances you would look good standing next to anybody. Not anybody, but you know what I mean. There's at least 5 or 6 other candidates that you will look good standing next to, male or female. And you could have like, a lot of people going, and even too that, if you notice too, a lot of guys have, let's say tall guys, a lot of tall guys get into this thing that they're like the cat's meow. And then if they walk into a store with their girlfriend, and then if they say there's a shop girl there, and then they get so used to like the shop girl like drooling over them, or any stranger drooling at them because they like 6 feet, 6'2", 6'3", and then when they don't get that, they feel like all shocked like they had a electricity lobotomy or something. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't occur to the average American man, because he's usually in a box of like, ooh, I'm here. A lot, just because they're in that programmed head, that if a person doesn't like react a certain way to them, they go through all shades of mental replacement. In other words, instead of saying like, I'm with my girlfriend, I don't have to attract anybody else. I'm confident in our relationship. The same thing with a woman. If the man's with a woman and the woman's got to be like hot, and if she's like, she's not getting the oohs and ahs and envy glances from the other men that they walk on the street with, he's like, or she's like, feeling that like, maybe I don't have it. Instead of just being content with whom you are and who you are walking with or being with and in a relationship with. So it's all these things. I mean, it's just amazing. Everybody always thinks that somebody else is better or making me look worse, or there's just so many iffies and so many things. It's just mind-boggling. And we just have to have this philosophy that there's no place for fake. Fake is a drag. Fake is easy. Fake is a scam. Fake is a scam. And nobody wants to be scammed. Do you want to be scammed? No, you don't want to be scammed. Why? So, I mean, that's the whole thing about being in a relationship that smells. I mean, it smells like you can put as much cologne and perfume on as you wish, but inside you feel it in your, in your throat sometimes. And we've all been there. We've all been in a relationship that like, I really want this to work. This could be like, you're young and you're impressionable, or you waited a long time for somebody to finally pay attention to you, and they can, and in the tick box, tick, tick, tick. He's got the height I like. She's got the, the body I like. He's got the hair. I mean, the list. You got like 24 things that, that you find attractive. It gives you the chemistry to, to like, go on further. And then with the relationship. And then when you like, person's like doesn't check out all those boxes, you're kind of overlooking, well, I can like, do this and we can do this and he'll change or she'll change. When in actuality, it ain't happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. So you're just wasting time. I mean, the first thing to do is to find out, like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a real relationship? Or are you going to be satisfied with fake? Because it's the holidays, number one, coming up right now. It's the winter. It's cold. And you see this person right in front of you. And you may be just straight up desperate. I gotta have a man. I gotta have a woman. I want a boyfriend. I want a girlfriend. I want a wife. I want a husband. So you'll take any Joe Blow or Mary Jane that comes walking down into your viewpoint and feeling like you're settling. And then once you get to know the person, you go, eek, 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 eek. And then it gets messy. It gets real messy. So, I mean, you could spare yourself a lot by understanding where you're at, where you're coming from, and do you want to take this ride, this trip, this life? And then if you're already asking yourself if you want to take this ride, then you're in a damn fake relationship. You're in the fake, and there's no place for it. A ride is not a lifestyle. A ride is a trip to McDonald's, a trip to Twinkies, Twinkie Place, whatever it's called, double dip ice cream, but it's not a way of life. If you just be honest with each other straight up, I'm looking for permanence. And I like the way you look. You can say, I like the way you look. And, you start finding things in common, start doing things together. And then as soon as you find out that the person is like, can't be honest, can't be this, can't be that, cut it loose. Cut it loose. Cut it loose. Cut it loose. It's no place for it. So, I mean, that's where we're at right now. We're having like wars everywhere, 7 or 8 different countries, 15, 20 countries. The civilian population wants to oust the current government. It's like a mess. We're in a salad of mess. Now, the most important thing is to keep your own glue together, to keep your life together. And yes, there's ups and downs with financial things and things like that, of course, because people are getting laid off, they're cutting services, people have less money, less spending money, and people are just getting damn nervous, really nervous. So, then when people get nervous, they jump. Now, the thing is to do is to find somebody solid who can be your springs, your trampoline, your partner. Your partner in this topsy-turvy, inside upside down reality that we're living in. And we're living in great times because we're here and we're alive. So it's great times. And no matter what is being pushed down our throats, created from imaginations, let's keep cool. Let's just cool and prod this situation. Step 1, step 2. The way you would do anything. And don't get like, oh, this is that and this is that. Because, I mean, masses, civilizations, populations, country people are always being told some fable. They've been told stories since the beginning of any type of collective, any type of like tribe, any type. And you have to examine who is your spokesperson. There are, pluses and minuses. Everybody has pluses and minuses. So, I mean, it all it's from the top down. It's like, if you think of a circle, the circle has to have all the pieces in it for it to be a circle. Otherwise, it's incomplete and it's not a circle. And you want to have cohesion. You want to have unity. However, you can't force it down somebody's head because, especially if you're faking it. If you're faking it. And that's important to know. You can't fake this stuff up. You can't. It's unwise. So, how would you deal with someone who said you found out did not have wherewithal, the stamina to be real? It's heartbreaking. It's true. But you know it. You know that this person you can't make it person. So it's best to tell that person as soon as you can. You realize that I like you. We should just let's like cool down. We can just be friends, or if that's too difficult, well, just like you and I have different ways to go, and it hurts. It hurts. It gives you a feeling that like you probably imagine a lifestyle with that person, but then you think that gee, for whatever reason, that person and you are not working out, and to go on in a dreamland, sometimes you don't even have that luxury of dreaming on because you didn't like examine where that person was at. You didn't ask the question, like the question, like, how do you feel about me? I like you. What don't you like about me? What do you like to read? What do you like to talk about? What do you like to eat? I mean, isn't that like, how often do you take the garbage out? Things like that. Oh, do you, can you afford a maid? Can you, do you, it's as simple as that. Or, I want to work 24 hours. I want to work like 20 hours a week. I want to work 70 hours a week. How important is it for your primary? I like to be your primary relationship. I want you to be. Can we become family? And if we become family, do I have to put up with all your, it's a lot of talking. A real relationship, a real genuine feelings are lots of talking, not lots of having sex, laughing, getting stoned, getting drunk. That's not a real relationship. That's just like stopgap. I don't want to deal with things, so I'm just stopgapping. I mean, it's fun. And once you talked enough, do what you want to do together. But once you've already subtracted that this is real and this is not fake, and this is not fake. So that's currently what we are going at, trying to get some different feelings. We're trying to ask people just what's how to do readings. Just like let's say here is like, how do we spot somebody fake? Now, let's see. Somebody I know. Now, there is a man who visited a place where there was a woman, and it was unclear if he was really who he was. And he gave vague answers, and he even misled. Now, of course, the heart only hears what the heart wants to hear. And you generally don't hold out for somebody who is not genuine. Now, but these people exist. There are people that do things for excitement, for thrills, for attention that you and I normally wouldn't do. So, let's see. Now, something like that would bring heartbreak. Something like that would bring sorrow. Something like that. Yes. The Nine of Swords. It just brings, when you're like gaming people, what you get out of it is you give somebody a lot of grief. And it's almost as though you're like being an artist. You're taking a blank canvas and you're using actual people and painting an image that isn't really real. It's a concept. And you may feel like royalty because you've been able to like hoodwink someone, but there's no pleasure in it because it just brings sorrow. And then once you bring somebody else sorrow in that manipulate, in that designated manner, in that full intention manner of just gaming somebody, then you're like adding the darkness to yourself, the negative self to you. So that's where it gets really complicated. And then the more you stick on some negative glue from someplace, from some kind of phony fake encounter or experience, and then glues on you. It's like, I put on my shoulders. Then you do another one and another one and another one, and before long, you have a complete outfit of fakeness, of dark energy. And then you attract more dark energy. And then it's a spiral that just goes on and on and on and on. And besides being quite stupid and lame to do such a thing with your valuable time on earth in this body, you cause it's just a waste of time. A lot of wasted energy. But some people, they love that. They do that. They do have wasted energy. And that's the whole thing of just recognizing that exists. And it's not fun. It brings sadness. It brings sorrow, the Nine of Swords. And it also attracts negative spirits, negative energy. Not even dark matter, because we call it dark matter. It's a cute little word, but that's like a space that we're not allowed to go to unless we're more developed. Some of us who can go through the dark matter, and it's not really even dark matter. It's the ether. It's just something that when you're kept in a little box, click box, age, sex, color, religion, blah, blah, blah. When you stay in a little box, you get smaller and smaller and smaller. You may get more antique, saying that you may become more attractive, but you're not really expanding yourself. You're not really growing. I mean, it's good to know who you are and to have a place that you consider your own territory. However, for humans, there is a bigger, bigger picture, especially when we're faced towards annihilation, as we are right now, of what is going down. I mean, you have people saying limited nuclear war. You have people saying climate change. You have people saying world hunger. You have people saying there's too many people. Snore, 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 snore. That you can. It's people are tripping you. People are tripping you. I mean, there used to be, as we all know, huge lizards called dinosaurs. They ate quite a bit. And they ate each other too, of course. But they ate quite a bit. Stomp, 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 stomp. And if they, what do they say now? Cow farts are the big thing. Now, if a dinosaur farted, you can imagine that thing would sound like a hydrogen, an A bomb. Boom! And the stench would probably make you drop into a coma, not a coma, a coma for a period of time, knock you unconscious. So, I mean, please. And of course, we're led to believe some false narratives about how we got here, what was here before us, and, little tiny humans and big lizards and big pussycats and big bears and big snakes and big birds and little tiny humans. That made all these marvelous things, and out of place history, out of place objects, and that we went around with a big cave or a big piece of tree stump, and we hit people over the head, and we just, oint oint all day long. Okay, if you choose to believe that, okay, all right for you. There's a partner for you who would choose to believe that too. However, we do know that we're never going to know the truth unless we use our imaginations. And you have to realize too, on a cellular level, our cells know exactly the truth. Our cells, our our bodies know the truth, because aren't we are alive from day one. We've been modified, changed, and blah blah blah. But however we do know. And we says, oh, how come cats know to nurse? How can they know how to poop? Dogs bark. How do they know all this? Yes, there's imprinting, there's teaching, but there's also cells. The cells know what to do. They know what to eat. They know this. They know that. We're not stupid, even though we're told we are stupid. We're not. We're stupid if we believe every single thing that somebody rams down our heads, and if the fact that we may not know the dates and the terms and this, the current dialogue for things is almost irrelevant. I mean, unless you're going to really chit chat with someone. I mean, and that's for your personal partner, and your personal group of friends. Otherwise, it's not necessary to go ahead and go and just say, I remember this date in 1619, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just saying, what is more important right now? Reality, of which you tell me what your reality is and what you want your reality. Some people just want to be gay. Some people can't have no reality. Tell me what to do, or I'm so sad. And the fact that we're just pollinating too many things, crossing too many things. And we have this 25 word vocabulary in any language. I'm sure Spanish, German, Russian, they're all giving English. We have 25 words that we're supposed to say, and we have to be very, very careful about what we do say. But we're allowed now to use curse words and smoke pot. Is that hip? Oh, no, it's not. Sometimes we can't help but use a certain vocabulary, and sometimes we can't help but seek libations, of which your choice. But remember that that's not the real way of being is to go, hey, this is fake. Feeling bad is fake. Yes, I'm like encumbered by like so many things. I have to get this done, that done, and the list is just mind numbing. However, the fact if you get caught up in like, well, at a certain age I should have this, and at a certain age I should have that, or what happened, in the situation you feel is out of your control, is all the more reason to get more real and take somebody else's opinion of you as fake, because people will put you in a place in your egg carton and their egg carton and in their setting as to for you to worship them. In most cases, it's like that. That's not real people. That's like people that need drama. And people need drama now because they're not getting any answers about anything. So when people need to know, I hate that word, the phrase, on a need to know basis. Oh, just say it like it is. Are you going to wait until like the firecrackers start going up in the air? You know, there's many types of psyops going along, and when people, men and women, lovers to lovers, they start gaming each other and start being fake, that becomes a psyop. And then you can get crusty, thinking that love does not exist, or I'll never find love, and woe is me. Now, it isn't woe is me. It's something, time and place. Time and place. Some of us find love early. Some of us find love late. Some of us don't even understand what love is. And you would say, maybe love is different for everybody has a different version of what love is. Love is acceptance. Love is beautiful. Love is beauty. Love is all sorts of things. However, it's not fake. Love is not fake. But you have to realize love is not fake. If you see somebody, he's saying, I love you, baby, and then you see him 2 nights over, he's X amount of hours later, he's with someone else, that's fake. And that was like a waste of time. The same thing if a man is hearing his woman saying, I love you, baby, and then she's like, saying it to somebody else, or she's hanging out with some other guy, that was fake. And yeah, you're betrayed. Okay, so you got betrayed, but it's better to be betrayed early than later. If you're in that kind of mind, if you're in that kind of relationship with someone who's not mature, And maturity the woman can be older, the man can be older, you could both be young, you could both be old. The point is, how do you want to live the time that you're allotted? How do you want to live? Do you want to be in a F game, Minecraft type game? Do you want to be in some kind of, like video game type of existence? Do you want to sit at your parents' table all day and just play games and puff on your marijuana sticks and like feeling like I'm cool, I'm not addicted, I'm not a creep, I'm this and that, I'm going to find somebody and one day my life will change? Or maybe it won't change. Maybe it won't change. Maybe you missed. And what if you find out you missed? Well, then suck it up, get it together from now on, and realize that, like, I have to start anew. But a lot of people don't have that kind of courage to realize, I got to start again. And then you think, people will say, oh, how many times have you started that? How many times have you, did this and then did that? Don't pay attention. Your breath is your breath. Their breath is their breath. If they want to see what they want to see, let them see what they want to see. Who cares? If you have the time to comment on somebody else, you have something wrong with yourself. You can say, okay, we're not going to be friends. You have to accept it. Brothers and sisters are not necessarily friends. Parents and children are not necessarily friends. Sometimes you have to cut people out. That's just the way. It is. It's unfortunate. If you're losing your self-respect with a person, that person is making you lose your self-respect, you know what you gotta do. You got to get another idea going. You need to get something else going and get away from that type of situation. You got to get out. And, otherwise you're going to be nine of swords all the time. Nine of swords. Boo hoo. And your eyes are going to tear up. You're going to feel sad. You can make yourself sick. So get out there, no matter, even if it's the winter, even if it's the holidays, and strive for something that's real. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say hi? Hey, are you in a happy relationship? Are you in a real relationship? Is that person treating you with, in a real way, as a real person, not as a convenience, not as something that's faux, but I mean really, 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 really caring. Is that person doing that? I mean, we've all been in a funky place. We've all been gamed in some degree. That's learning. Okay, so we have. And there were times that we didn't want to be like with anybody either, but we just like wanted to interact. And that's something you have to realize about yourself as well. And of course you do. Of course you do. But now it's different. It's different now. Now we're going into a period of static. Static. We're being told all sorts of fables. We don't know who or what to like. Who or what to believe in. But the first thing you got to start one to one, like where you are right now, one to one. And you can't look for somebody to like be your shining star because everybody they owe somebody or they have their friends. I mean, they have a circle. And especially if people admire someone, they have even bigger of a circle. In other words, they have pay as you go, pay back, and pay in the future type of situations. You have to be aware of that because that's not being, first of all, that's not being naive. And that's also being a little worldly. And then you got to realize too that that person, what's in it for them, a clap, 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 photo shoot, whatever, to be real to you. It's complicated. It's very complicated. That's why we have no time for people that are phony balonies. No time for phony balonies. Right? No time for phony balonies. So anyway, I've been like talking for my cup of tea for almost 40 minutes. And I covered a lot of, like, there's no place for the fake. And if anybody would like to have a reading about somebody in their life who is being fake, well, I'll give you a little time. I'll stay open. And no, I mean, it's a subject that's painful in a way, and it's a real topic because it's just that why do you have people tell stories? Yeah, I'm a storyteller, and you're a storyteller, and we're all storytellers to some degree and yes, it's, but life isn't a smooth thing. You know that. And if you're to think otherwise, then, well, sometimes it's a roller coaster. And then sometimes it's just people get scared. People get all types of things. And it helps when you talk about it and say hi and you get out of your usual circle, excuse me, and just evaluate what, what, what's what, what's what, what's what. So that's basically tonight's message. Tonight's message is just taking the fake out and asking yourself, is your life completely solid? I mean, it's almost like the couple, like they're married, they have a couple of kids, and then every time they take a trip, they take a trip together. Like say they're in the car, the wife is in the passenger seat, the guy is driving, and the kids are in the back. And then the children notice that every time when they're in a town or city-like environment, their daddy is always looking at other women, for instance. And the woman is going through all sorts of the wife is going through all sorts of huff and puffing. Well, there's something that should be discussed, but a lot of people just can't rock the boat. They just accept it, especially if they have, community property together, they have community obligations towards their children, they have a life together. And it's a whole bunch of things. It's a whole bunch of things that go down with people. And then people generally think that, let's say, I've had a life. A person could say, I had a life of like too many drugs, too much sex, too much. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I dropped out of college. I did this. I did that. And then they say, well, they know this is, well, I have to change my life. Well, the change doesn't happen that fast, as we all know. And then what are you changing to? Are you how are you changing? You could find yourself, well, you can become a father, and then you have another child, you have another person to account for. But then again, what are your reasons for the change? Oh, you can say that, well, my girlfriend got pregnant and I'm doing the right thing. Well, okay, that's commendable. But, well, is this what you both want? Is this good for the both of you? You have to ask yourself that. And then maybe you were involved with somebody else and you felt that they were like too far above you. So you got to go like, I got to get myself somebody. So you get somebody. And then you got to ask yourself, when that time comes, is this the right thing? And then you can settle for that. You can settle for that. But then again, you got to make sure that, that you're honest with the person and you're honest with yourself. Just to avoid complications. Just to avoid complications. And pain. So, things, if you're fake, you can be faking it and things can get on. I'm basically saying if you can't be honest when you first meet someone and one to one, that you bring other life into it, children into it, your relationship, it gets more painful and it gets like a scenario. It gets you affect a lot. You affect a lot. So we're all very powerful in our own sense. And to realize what that sense is, takes courage. That takes courage. And maybe you may not think that you have the strength to be real, but maybe, or to admit that this is fake. But you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at yourself. You'd be surprised with other people that they can come on board to be like, this is real love or this is fake. And just go, well, gee, okay, that was a mistake. And okay, let's call it quits. Or let's go one step further. This is a real thing for us. Let's go one step further. It's things like that. And that's what we're striving for. So if you like a reading in terms of like your relationship, like where is it at? Is this what you want? Are you happy? Is he happy? Is she happy? Things like that. Things like that. And you take like relationships of like, celebrities, which they're put in our faces for us to examine them and compare our lives towards them. And of course, we're often put together in comparison to really wildly successful ones. They have, 7 or 8 houses, mansions, apartments, whatever. And they like have, tons of greenbacks, tons. And then you think, wow, they must be happy. They must be this. They must be that. And then when they show their, it's like, and then you think it's generated to show you, it's almost comparison. But then again, you find out more about their personal habits. They do, have done, and do to maintain that level of revenue. And then you can go, oh goodness, that's not really something that, I couldn't do that. That's like, it's not me. So that's what I think. You have to find out who you are, what you want to be. And the fact that, like, even though you may not have tremendous wealth, etc., you have a lot of power. And how you, the fact that okay, you say, I can just touch, eat, or five senses, four senses, right? But it's bigger than that. And that's where we have to use our critical thinking to find out more about ourselves. And you want to be with someone who into self exploration as well as being a fine tuner for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that all mindlessness and, Moby, up there in the cosmos. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we can open up yourself to be a real human with a real person in a real relationship because you deserve it. You deserve to be. You deserve it, and you can get it. You can have it. You can possess it. Somebody that makes you happy. Somebody that you feel confident with. Now they don't have to. I mean, it's like they don't have to get on stage and everybody goes oola oola oola. That's so great. No, it doesn't have to be like that. But you two should just make each other happy. And you create a happy life and a happy home. But it takes effort. It takes reality. It takes honesty. And that's something that we are not getting from a lot of. I mean, is our history honest? No. Is our education honest? No. It's full of little boxes. It's full of like P's and Q's. Always, I mean, yes, we know, but to realize that is the first step of knowing. Yes, we have fake history. We have fake education. We have this and we have that, and we have to participate in it to some degree. But it's becoming more and more suffocating as weeks go by. However, we can't have hassles and arguments with everybody we meet. We can't do that. It's too much energy. Too much energy. That's why it's so important to have realness. Realness. And if anybody would like a reading, just type it in. Type your question down. You can ask. You can say hi too. I mean, you can have a conversation. It's good. It's good. I don't bite. I speak English. Spanish, not too well. How's your relationship out there? Is everybody ready for festivities this season? Or what? Are you going to celebrate any holiday? Or are you going to just relax, relax, relax? Get ready for the show of 2025. What are you going to do for 2025? Any plans? Well, I'm here and I'm going to go get something to drink. Be back. Did she make a poo poo? One of my kitties made a poo poo. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, if no one's going to say hello, chit chat, no one feels like it, well, I'll just have to feel lonely if no one wants to speak. But anybody would like a reading? I'm here. I'm here. I was just reading something interesting about the drones just now. Someone was saying that this guy was like writing, and he says he expected his tweets to be taken down. And it was saying that those drones are actually equipped to detect radiation because there's been some sort of something about some kind of bomb or something like that, where they're just like detecting if there's any gamma rays anywhere. So that's basically there's some kind of threat going on that's obviously nuclear. And they're there just to detect if something is being set off. Isn't that creepy? That's creepy. That's creepy. Even though they say they don't know what it is, but something's going on. It's something like that. That's interesting. It's like a plausible theory.